Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So Bitcoin and crypto obviously are doing good today. But how high can they go despite what's going on in Europe, despite the invasion? Can Bitcoin go higher? Well, let's talk about how Bitcoin's growth right now is actually the opposite of what the US markets are doing. Has Bitcoin decoupled? Well, let's discuss. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me on social media. And check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully you guys are doing good. I know some of you guys tuned in this morning when I was streaming the market open. Well, during that time, Bitcoin was actually higher. It was around 44.8, almost 45,000. Bitcoin did come down a little bit, but now is looking to head back up once again. Well, this is not a surprise. Well, first of all, Bitcoin, from a short-term perspective, indicators were overbought, but not really surprised when the markets turned really, really, really red this morning. When I did the market open, everything was near zero. The market hasn't decided what it wanted to do yet, but now it's clear that the Wall Street traders are very antsy and very scared about still what's going on with Russia and with Ukraine. So that's why Dow is negative 600. It was almost negative 700. Just a few minutes ago. NASDAQ is down over 1%. And if you look at overall stocks, they're getting hammered with the exception of Target, which actually reported good earnings. But yeah, so obviously when the markets got a little bit more red, Bitcoin came down a little bit, but overall Bitcoin is still up. If you look at the overall market cap, yes, still above $2 trillion. So over 4.5% gain for today, and many altcoins are coming up in addition to Bitcoin. But if you look at it, Bitcoin over the last 24 hours is leading the way. Ethereum has not caught up. BNB has not caught up. Solana has not caught up. Terra has not caught up. Today, Avalanche is the one that's outperforming Bitcoin. So Bitcoin dominance went up slightly, but Bitcoin and crypto overall are doing good despite the fact that U.S. markets are doing bad. So that decoupling I've been talking about is starting to happen right before our eyes, right? And that's a good thing. Bitcoin should not be correlated with NASDAQ, should not be correlated with tech stocks because it's not a stock. It's not a stock at all. It's the world's greatest payment network. And it's proving itself right now. So it should not be moving with NASDAQ. It never should have been. But Wall Street traders made it that way. Now, we know why the markets are still red. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of doubt. There's always a lot of doubt when there's war going on, right? So right now, unfortunately, in Kiev, there is, or Kyiv, I should say, there's a lot of strikes, a lot of, videos out on Twitter and everywhere else, massive explosions to government buildings and so forth, and people are still, especially Zelensky, still, trying to prepare for that 40-mile convoy, which is right around the corner. So what is Russia going to do, right? So there's a lot of fear right now. Of course, there's still a lot of sanctions going on. There's a lot of talks about sending weapons and just providing more aid to Ukraine, right? But right now it's still uncertain what Putin is going to do, right? Now, relating to crypto, well, we know that a lot of donations has been happening, right, with Bitcoin and Ethereum, but now the Ukrainian government is also accepting Polkadot. Interesting. Out of all of the choices, they're also accepting Polkadot. I bring this up because people have been asking me, what's going on with Polkadot? Why is it not moving? Well, this is a good thing for a good cause, obviously, right? But now the government has raised over 20 million, but obviously they need a lot more than that. But it is useful. And many other countries are, coming up with some kind of aid package. I know Congress is talking about, I think, 5.7 billion, and many other countries are also sending aid as well. So that, unfortunately, is happening. But again, it shows that Bitcoin and crypto and blockchain decentralization definitely has a use case, or many use cases. But the greatest one right now is, you're able to send worldwide almost instantaneously without anyone in the middle telling you that you can't or is trying to stop you, right? It is the world's greatest payment network that we have right now. All right. Now, what else is going on today? What is causing some market uncertainty? Well, I saw this. This is actually very interesting. As the Fed is preparing for mortgage rate hikes, or not mortgage rate hikes, but rate hikes in general, right? Which many seem to think that it'll be lower, but mortgage rates are also coming down too. So I anticipate that mortgage rates has been going up in anticipation of the rate hikes, but started coming down because of the war, right? And that didn't make a whole lot of sense. But anyways, it's happening, and that's why home prices have not come down and continue to skyrocket as we head into springtime, which should get even hotter in terms of the real estate market. So I don't know. I just thought I'd bring that up. But other things that relate, also oil prices has been surging, right? Gasoline prices surging 11% now to $106 a barrel, which is 7-year high. Of course, that is no surprise. And not just oil, wheat, because Russia also exports a lot of wheat, oil, and natural gas. Those three are the biggest. Though oil and natural gas are the two biggest. And as for those two things, have not been cut off yet. So we'll see if more sanctions are placed on those exports for Russia, which will really hurt them beyond what has happened already. Unfortunately, I've been talking a lot about Russian citizens and how they're just seeing their wealth disappear right in front of their eyes. Again, Bitcoin solves that. Bitcoin is the answer. And speaking of inflation, Goldman Sachs just threw this out there, thinking that inflation will be worse than feared this year. So according to Goldman, well, our 7.5%, which may go up to 8%, even with all the tools that the Fed has, right, it will still not get down to 2% like what Powell wants. It'll probably, at best case scenario, be at 4%, which is still not good. But there's a good chance that because of the war and because of, say, gasoline prices going up and all the supply chain stuff that's still ongoing, right, inflation will still be worse than anticipated. However, because of what's going on, now the probability of the very first rate hike is almost 100% at 25 basis points. Before, it was flip-flopping between 25 and 50. Now it's almost 99.8% of, I guess, analysts are predicting that the rate hike will be 25 basis points. So again, if Chair Powell cannot raise rates as aggressively as he wants to, again, that will mean that, inflation will be worse than anticipated this year, right? So that is still ongoing. And of course, why is inflation important? Well, it's not good overall. If you're a citizen, doesn't matter if you're in the US or wherever, inflation just basically takes your wealth away. It's like a wealth tax if you think about it. Even if you have $100 and sitting in your bank account, you think there's no way you could lose $100, right? It's just sitting there. Well, right now in America, about 7.5% every year is being taken away because that's how much less you can buy as things go up in price. And that is why you need to hold investments, you need to hold assets that grow faster than inflation rate. And at this point in time, very little is guaranteed to grow above 7.5%. The one thing is Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin is the answer to all of our problems right now. It's not a solution for everything, but in terms of inflation, in terms of economic disaster, geopolitical stuff that's happening, right? Bitcoin is the answer, right? And that is why, well, before I get to my next point, but just to show you gold versus Bitcoin, right? So there's periods of time where gold, is winning out on Bitcoin's performance, and Bitcoin, yes, sometimes goes down, right? But then when Bitcoin goes up, gold never goes up. So that's the thing with gold, right? I've come to a conclusion that gold is great as a store of value, but horrible as an investment at this point, right? So if you're able to buy gold as a store of value, great, if that's your intention. But like what we're saying with Ukraine, if you're trying to flee the country because of war, you're trying to flee, certain cities that's being bombarded, you're trying to flee, say, Russia, right? Because you don't like what's going on, or because you're forced to, or because your money is just disappearing in front of your eyes, right? It's hard to buy massive amounts of gold, and it's even harder to transport massive amount of gold. With Bitcoin, you don't have that problem. You just don't. You could hold $1 billion worth of Bitcoin in a USB stick, or you could just memorize the seed phrase. If you're really good, you memorize it. You don't even need anything. You just need to memorize your seed phrase and make sure you never forget it, right? You don't have to worry about being confiscated or anything. So just to throw that out there. And from a TA perspective, Bitcoin closed yesterday with a bullish divergence. So with a month end like that, many TA analysts think that's a very, very positive move. And it could carry Bitcoin much higher than where it is, right? But as for adoption, as for people that are now coming and recognizing Bitcoin is the greatest asset and payment network we have, well, this kind of proves it. This was a little hard to read, okay? But bottom line is, when you see a lot of blue, that means there's a lot of accumulation. And if you look on the left side, this is basically looking at accounts that hold less than 1 Bitcoin, 1 to 10 Bitcoin, 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000, 10,000, above 10,000. You could see since December, since Bitcoin's decline till now, massive accumulation from all these wallets. The only exception is wallets with over 10,000. They've started accumulating, but only recently, right? Only recently they've started accumulating, and that's the top right-hand corner. But since December, literally every single other category has been accumulating, right? And it makes sense. It does. And this is why the liquid supply keeps going up and why the reserves keeps dropping, right? Here's an article about UK millennial millionaires increases because of growing adoption of crypto. Yeah, most of the millennial millionaires probably became millionaires because of crypto. So I'm just going to throw out a blanket assumption there. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds good. But there are, of course, many millionaires that became millionaires through crypto. I'm just going to throw that out there. And as for, just day-to-day transactions, right? If you thought that, hey, in the US or now in Ukraine or Russia or wherever, there was plenty of usage, right? But look at some of these other countries. US is only at 6%. China's at 7%, which is interesting for crypto. Germany and Japan, right? But then you look at some of the other countries here, like Nigeria, 32%, Vietnam 21%, Philippines 20%, Turkey 16%, Peru 16%, right? So there's a lot of countries already with many, many, many citizens that are using crypto day to day and utilizing for P2P transactions, right? So Bitcoin and crypto is a worldwide currency. So interesting enough. All right, last few things. Some of you guys have noticed why Terra has been going up like crazy recently. Well, this explains it. Because 2.57 billion of Luna tokens just removed and burned. And this is the reason why Terra continues to go up, because you have a lot of UST, their algorithmic stablecoin, being minted, and whenever you have a massive amount of UST being minted, a massive amount of Luna gets removed and burned. And this is why Terra is so strong and why it's closing in at its all-time high. It's moving up very significantly. And you know what? TechDev, one of my favorite analysts, he posted an article on CryptosRUs.com that you should check out. That shows that Luna could be heading to $200, not $200,000, $200 sooner than you may think. So check that out. And lastly, I just thought I'd throw this out there since I am a basketball fan. Shaq, he renamed his Twitter. Where did it go? I don't know why it didn't show up, but he renamed his Twitter Shaq.soul. Oh, there we go. Right? So he's getting very involved with NFTs. But most of the NFTs he's involved with are on the Solana blockchain and not Ethereum. So Solana is making strides when it comes to NFTs, although vast majority is still on Ethereum on OpenSea. But Solana is still moving in the right direction there. So just thought I'd bring that up because that's kind of interesting. All right, that's pretty much it. You know, you can see overall Bitcoin is at 43.5. Came down a little bit from its peak, but over the last few days, we've definitely seen some nice movement, I believe, from Russians, Ukrainians, other people in Europe, people worldwide that's paying attention to what's happening and realizing that Bitcoin is the way to go, right? Bitcoin is the solution. So that's what's happening right now. All right, let's do some Q&A. Yvette says, I don't think he knows about crypto. He's paid to change his soul. I'm sure he got endorsements, but don't let Shaq's size fool you. Okay, just because he's a big guy that play basketball does not mean he's not smart. In fact, Shaq is a very, very smart investor and entrepreneur. He's making more money now than he ever did playing in the NBA. And if you just listen to him, like some of his investments, you know, made him hundreds of millions. He's a very smart guy. I would not doubt that, yes, he's getting paid to promote some of these NFT projects, but I would not doubt that he also sees the potential too. Just my opinion. All right, let's see here. Let me see if I missed anything. Another war or oil price goes up. Are we surprised? No, of course, oil always goes up every time there's war. But the U.S. does hoard a ton of oil, which is not being used, reserves for the military. But I don't know. Maybe they're going to change that policy. Maybe they're going to open it up so oil, you know, gas prices won't be sky high. Real raid, boss. All right, I'm not gonna repeat what you just said there, but that's quite funny. Royal Apex Capital, appreciate that. Let's see here. When radioactive winter, hopefully that never happens. You shouldn't joke about that, Martin. Let's pray that never happens. What do you think about projects like Helium? I like it. XRP or Litecoin? That's too hard to answer. But if I had to choose, if my life depended on it, if I had to choose between XRP or Litecoin, I'd pick XRP. Sander, you go get timed out for making a stupid comment like that. I have made so many videos about Algorand. It's just because you don't tune in, and you have your selective hearing on, or you're just trying to be a troll. So I'm going to time you out just for being an idiot. Why do you skip Near Protocol? Do you hold this coin? No. I mean, I think that should be obvious, right? I mean, all right. Some of these comments just get to me. I mean, I've talked about Near. I've said I'm not the most familiar. I'm not most familiar with Near. Not nearly as much as some of these other plays, right? So yeah, that's why. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Can you look at STOS? Do you think it's better than Filecoin? I have no idea what STOS is. And I think what's better than Filecoin, at least, yeah, I'll just put it this way. I like Arweave better than Filecoin because they're partnered up with Solana. And they're a decentralized storage platform for Solana. So that's why I like them better. Thoughts on Cody? 2 billion max supply. Will they get bigger? Are they a good hold? Sure. I mean, based on what you're saying, do you even understand what Cody is? That's the thing. I think many people just don't understand what these projects are. I mean, based on what you said, it's a very vague statement, but Cody's in the payment system. They're partnered up with Cardano. ADA pays, powered by Cody. And they're getting involved with just payments overall, right? And they're also getting involved with stablecoins too. They're not an L1. They're not an L1, so they don't compete with the likes of, say, Solana and Terra and Cardano. But they work with them, right? So do I like them? Yes. But I feel like many people just don't even understand a lot of these projects. And they just kind of assume every single crypto does the same thing. And that's not the case at all. Hey, George, should I buy more now that everything's in green or wait until they go into red? See, the thing is, I'm going to be honest, we've been in red for the last 2 months, so why are you asking that question now? I've been telling you to DCA along the way, and now you're asking if you should buy after they go up 10-20%. So you tell me. You tell me. I've been saying to continue holding, right? Continue to DCA, continue to buy the dips. That's how wealth is made. And then unfortunately, most people don't do that. They have to wait for some kind of confirmation of a flip before they get in. But that's not the way to do it. Do I think the market could go higher? Yes, I definitely do think so. I do think Bitcoin and cryptos go a lot higher. But should you buy when things are in red? Yeah, you should buy in red rather than in green. That's a smarter play. Is buying Wrap Luna as good as buying Luna? It depends. If you just want price appreciation because you're limited to buying on Coinbase, then yes. But if you actually want to use it for, let's say, staking reasons, for DeFi reasons, then the answer is no. Reporting taxes is a pain in the butt. Yeah, that's why you want to use some, like a tracking software that'll kind of track things or measure things for you. So, yeah. Do you need to report your public addresses when filing crypto taxes? Well, it depends. If you're using just wallets, like, your own wallets, like a mobile wallet or like a browser wallet, then yeah, you need to disclose your public address. You don't need to, but the softwares that will calculate it for you will require it. Otherwise, it could just link up using API to centralized exchanges and kind of figure that out without revealing your public addresses. So something like CoinTracking, who I'm partnered with, they will do that. They will do that. How are you sure the recent pump isn't just a dead cat bounce? I mean, at one point, do you think it's not a dead cat bounce? That's the question. And even if it is, so what? The strategy doesn't change. You continue to hold on and continue to DCA. Investors win, not traders. Traders will make you think that only trading wins. But the reality is most people that have made money in crypto have just been long-term holders. Long-term investors, right? So it doesn't matter if it's dead cat bounce, but even with that said, I don't think it is. Obviously, what's happening right now is what's happening with Ukraine. And it's very clear, right? It's very clear what's happening right now is due to Ukraine and Russia. But let's just, for example, pretend that that's not happening and everything is just, everything is moving up right now with regardless of that. Well, you know what? Strategy is still the same. Continue to DCA. Continue to DCA and continue to hodl and wait for the gains to come to you. Digibond CoinTracking is good. Thank you. Well, welcome. Not welcome. Thank you for that. Let's see. Reese asked about Quant Network. Quant is all about businesses. They're not really about consumers. In fact, they don't really reveal anything for consumers. They're really about helping business get involved with blockchain. So, not something that I'm really interested in. Geostone, thank you. How long is long term? Years. 3, 5, 10 years. The longer you can hold, the more you will make. It's really that simple. What do you think about Silo? I feel it'll be critical to the space and metaverse in the future. I'm pretty sure I looked at Silo before, but I don't remember what it is. If I could type. Very small cap is 17 million. Communicate. So, yeah, it's just an app. I remember this. They weren't really focused on NFTs before. It was more like a communication app. But now it seems like they are trying to transition to metaverse and Web 3.0s. So if your point is you need like a really good app to help people get involved, sure. But if your point is Silo will be very important for the metaverse space, the answer is no. I mean, looking at their price, they're pretty much dead. What do you think about PTE projects like Mad Viking Games and Exo Worlds on VeChain? I've heard of them. I have not checked them out, but overall, it's good. We need to see more consumer dApps on VeChain. That's the bottom line, right? Starting with DeFi and then now PTE games, basically NFTs, all of them are going to help VeChain. Diamond, appreciate it. Leon says, you can't fix stupid. People need to watch it and figure things out. I agree. Thank you. And thank you for your support. Sometimes these comments, man, I just don't know what to say about some of these comments that are coming in. I've been DCA, just thought about buying more. Yeah. Solana is dead, bro. Well, if it was dead, it wouldn't be sitting at number 8 on CMC. All right, so it's not. Shout out from Philippines. Welcome. Anything else? I think not. Favorite cold wallet, Martin. I would say Ledger. I like Ledger. I've been using Ledgers for years now, but there's many alternatives. I know that there's a few more now, but I still like Ledger. So, all right, I'll let you guys go so I can grab some lunch. Anyways, Bitcoin is doing good still, despite the market sell-off today. So, again, look at it. Dow is almost down 700, right? So there is definitely a market sell-off, again, due to what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. There's a lot of fear out there still, but Bitcoin is proving it is the answer and the solution, and not only Bitcoin, but rest of crypto as well, right? So things are actually looking good, despite looking bad for the markets. And that's good overall. So, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, tune in tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I have more to say about some of these undervalued projects, and we'll go from there. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.